Welcome, bienvenidos a Oye Cinema Club. My name is Don Dino, and I'm one of the hosts for this evening, but I got to pick the film, so I'm starting it off. Film I picked was Coffee from 1973. Pam Grier, directed and written by Jack Hill. And before I tell you guys why I picked it, let's have everyone join me. I'm here with Michaela, Marina, Steven, Jason. Pew, pew, pew,
Pew, pew,
pew.
pew, pew.
Now, reason why I picked Coffee, I've heard it's a classic. It's always kind of been on my radar. Blaxploitation film, all that, and then just know Pam Grier, and of course Tarantino loves her. Well, anyway, I have my lady friend in town, and I was going to take her to Pam's Coffee, which is part of the Vista Theater, which Tarantino owns. And I was like, well, let me tell you about Pam Grier, and let me tell you about coffee, and let me tell you about puns, because it's a language thing. Puns is a little complicated to explain. So basically, watch the film just to be able to explain a pun on coffee and coffee. That's why I picked the film. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about Coffee, the film. Yeah, for to get started, let's have Marina. What did you think about the movie? First impression.
Oh yeah, it was a great representation of women and what they do for the world. No, I was like, Dino. I feel like he calls Alvin and Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's how I felt when I started this film. Like, what is happening? Yeah, I got to start watching trailers so I would at least known I was gonna get a whole bunch of boobs in my face so I could consent. I was like, man, I was cracking up because like Pam Grier still acts. She plays more motherly roles now, and I'm always like, yo, like what is this character? And like it's really bad and stuff. And I'm like, I am never gonna criticize her like day her acting now because she crawled on all fours with her tits out so we could walk as women in this industry. Like I was just like, whoa, like she really put herself out there, and I just wanted to go protest after I watched it. But yeah, that's my my first impression. I need a women's walk meeting. Where are they at?
She did get credited, at least on IMDb, as writer, at least for giving input or whatever fancy way they have that down. But anyway, all right, let's go with Steve because you're all hidden there. What's your first impression on Coffee?
Man, coffee. What can I say about this film? Um, I was honestly quite impressed about the dynamic range of nipple that I saw in this film. I feel like almost everybody was included in this film. I was just waiting for one to pop. No, but it was like so excessive to the point that I was like, she's about to pop her nipple right now, right? Like this is about to happen. Like I was just like waiting for it to happen because it was so much. And but overall, the film is like that's the thing about black exploitation films is like there's certain things that you can certainly like, I guess, about it, but there's other things that are like there is not so great, but at the same time, it's like, are they doing it on purpose? That's the only thing that I'm like confused about. Just because, man, s- a lot of the acting was really bad, but at the same time, was like, I feel like that was done on purpose, possibly. I don't know. I want to discuss it further with you guys. Those are my initial.
All right, Michaela, what are your thoughts about Coffee?
Oh man. This was a fun one. I did enjoy all the breasts. Because after a while, like the one scene, there was that one scene where the girls were all fighting and at the party and they were grabbing each other and I was like, okay, and now her boobs pop out. And then her boobs did pop out and I was like,
Yeah.
yes. Like it kind of became fun after a while, like knowing that we were just going to see boobs springing out of clothes. I mean, I've never seen so many breasts like spring out like that. So the breasts themselves should get an award for like their comedic timing. But
Oh my
you
God.
know, there were like things about this movie. I think as I was watching it, I was like, this might be the only blaxploitation movie I've ever seen, like all the way through. I've seen clips of them, but I don't think I've ever seen a whole one all the way through. I've seen like Quentin Tarantino movies, which he takes a lot from blaxploitation movies, like he references them a lot, and I could definitely see where he would draw inspiration from like movies like Coffy, and I did think that some of the acting was pretty bad, but Pam Grier has charisma. And I was telling John today, I was like, you know, it's actually, I think the story is actually a good story, like a solid story. I buy the story. I think that it has actually good arc. I just think it's not well shot. It's not well, like the sound isn't great. It's not well executed. The acting isn't good. It's sloppy. It's like done really sloppy. And I think it's supposed to be cheap and sloppy and silly and funny. But there were some good things, like good elements about it. I was like, man, if the story had been done with like maybe more money and a different director, it maybe could have been a really great film, because I think that it actually was pretty solid. Like a woman wanting to get revenge and like becoming this crazy hit woman. I think that was a cool idea. So yeah, there was like a lot of fun stuff, a lot of boobs, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of boobs. And I did like the way it ended. And I liked watching a lot of men die at the hand of a woman. So I really liked that.
Nice. All right, Jason, how about you? First time?
Yeah, this is my first time seeing this movie. I mean, I've seen it a lot in like clips and maybe like walking in on it or something, you know. So, because a lot of the stuff did look kind of familiar. At least, you know, one or two of the scenes, absolutely. But like I said, I've probably seen it in a retrospective or something. Anyhow, so this being my first viewing of this movie, I do have some experience with blaxploitation films. Never this one though. And so this is what's kind of interesting because Pam Grier, you know, this is like one of her big ones. You know, Pam Grier, she is very charismatic and she's very enigmatic in this movie. Like, you really can't take your eyes off her. She's like stunning. Like, she's like tall and beautiful and strong and, you know, very like defined facial features. So she's like beautiful to look at. And then she's got like this, you know, she's got these like amazing breasts that are just in the movie for no reason, just no reason. Like, which
They
is
are
like
amazing.
they're trying to sell this thing, you know. And she's really putting herself out there, like Marina said, as an actress to get this movie sold in the '70s. And you know, like she's yeah, I mean, she's a movie star. She's because the people have already deemed her a movie star, right? So she's a movie star. Um, yeah, the movie is very silly and corny, and you know, there's a lot of the acting is not very great, but it's something interesting and charming about that too. Steve mentioned, he goes, I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be like bad or not. Like, and that's because it feels like everybody's in on it. You know what I mean? It's like they're all in on it, like the tone of acting this is. But it seems like to me the best actors in this were the guy running to be the senator and then the pimp. I like these dudes probably studied at Juilliard. Like they're like good. You know what I mean? They're like for real actors. For everybody else in it, like you kind of question a little bit. And then like, you know, Pam Grier's just holding this thing down, not a terrific actor, but she does hold the movie down. So it's very interesting. And story structure, I agree with Michaela, like pretty good in story structure. It's a revenge flick. And that's, you know, pretty interesting. So there is a lot of like, I think this movie sits right around like the cult status it should. You know what I mean? Like people should always sort of discover movies like this, I think. Um, but you know, it's almost like a midnight screening type of thing. You know, mostly because of like all the boobs and the content. But there is one line I want to get into before that just you guys got to remind me that we touch on. This is a great line where she says, right at the end before she kills the guy, she says, you know, my little sister and a nice cop named Curtis. Bang! Like we have to talk about that scene because that's madness to me. Other than that, yeah, those are. Oh, the music. I did notice Roy Ayers did the music for this thing, and it's like this weird spot on music. So he definitely did it for this movie because like he sings like the stuff that the characters are kind of thinking with their names involved. But Roy Ayers, if you guys don't know, he just passed away like this week. He did like Rocky and all types of Hollywood movies in the '70s and music and whatnot. But yeah, he just passed away, and that was kind of weird. I was like, oh look, Roy Ayers just died like 2 days ago.
Damn. All right. Well, thanks,
Right.
guys. First time for me watching. I've seen some Blaxploitation films before, some with the group. Every time I watch one, I'm surprised of how good it is. And I know we're talking about like how bad it is, but I just thought that they're all like bad and they're all like trash and it's all just kind of like scummy. But again, like the storyline underneath, and for what Pam Grier had a few moments of like really well acted, like some very emotional things that I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
they're
I
like
agree.
you can then see kind of like Uma Thurman in Kill Bill and other like women revenge flick, especially like that, dealing with that trauma and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
let us give some flowers to like her acting chops in this, even with what you have to work with, right? That being said, I expected boobs, I expected nipples. I didn't expect Pam Grier's because I was like, oh, she's the lead. Like you normally don't see the lead, like show off what they mama gave them. But yeah, so that was very surprising. I didn't expect her to be put in that position. But then again, it was also the '70s, right, and all that.
True.
But yeah, the music, like, it all fit this time period. The sister acting to me was just like talk about like I don't know, like is it a thing of them like, well, we can't really do like get a little girl to pretend like she's on drugs or whatever, but just have her just lay stiff and all that. Like and every time it was a shot of the sister, I'm like, what is the direction? What is being told to this girl to like well, you're strung out. What? You're paralyzed. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. The my whole thing is the way I had heard of Coffee, or in my mind, right? Because again, like I've heard of it. I have Pam Grier, like boom, 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 and maybe the Foxy Brown and the other movies that she did after this. I thought Coffee was also already like Shaft or one of those a character that's already just like all on revenge. But this film is actually struggling because then when she's talking to Curtis, she's kind of like fessing up about like she literally just. I thought that guy that she shoots at the beginning like blows the head off, right? Because it's the one dealing drugs to her sister. I thought she'd been doing this after work every night. Like she was already vigilante, like nurse by day and night. And then when she's off duty, she's going and she's, gunning down the drug dealers and stuff like that. But no, like, so we see her struggling more about what she did. And then it's like, then when Curtis gets his in, then she's like, I gotta keep going now. This is what I'm doing. So I thought that was pretty cool because usually you don't see in revenge flicks and stuff like that a character struggling with the I
Hmm.
just killed someone. Like
Hmm.
we know the revenge is there, so then we feel good for the character to getting the revenge. So movie definitely surprised me on more levels than one. Yeah, that
Hmm.
was kind of my first overall impression. Uh, Talita did mention second movie in a row where the lead female protagonist just walks out of a building and walks away, and then it open ended freezes, kind of like Shane or whatever the piano teacher
Oh
was.
But
yeah,
after
piano
that,
teacher was the last one.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
comparing piano teacher and coffee is wild.
I know, right? But both female protagonists just walk out,
it's a
kind of
strong
injured.
connection for sure.
Yeah, self injury one, and the other one just ran a car through a house.
And that light nipple show from the piano teacher was a foreshadow.
Mm.
All the way to the following week.
Of the many breasts
That's right.
that we saw.
We complained. Remember, we thought we were going to see more, but we only saw.
Well, I'm surprised, man. What would have blown us away is if the piano teacher, when she's picking a video in the video store, is just Coffy.
Oh God, that would have been so good.
All right. I know we wanted to talk script and all that. Oh man, and breasts popping up. So, do we have I don't know how to say it, like a favorite scene that anyone wants to share?
Hmm.
I know we were talking about the.
On the topic of favorite breast, that wasn't. Sorry.
Pam's were by far the best.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree.
She like every shot of her, I felt really pervy because like every shot of her where she was like naked or her boobs came out, I was like, damn, like she looked so good.
Like trying to look behind to see like did the boob come out right? Like you're moving just your position to see if you can get a little more. No, yeah, she was amazing. Like every part of her, I thought was amazing. Like the camera is really just drawn to her. Like period, not just. I mean, obviously great rack, but like just her in general. It's like can't. Like if anybody else is on screen with her, you kind of have to look at her.
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like giving it her all with every moment with the acting. She was really bringing it.
Yeah, she is really bringing it. Yeah, what I'll tell you what I really like about her in the story though is the movie jumps off right from the beginning and she's like already in action. And the movie doesn't like really let you go. There's not like a lot of slow parts in this movie. It's only 90 minutes and it kind of just moves. And we start off with her like in an action scene. She's killing people, right? As the movie starts off, right? And it's like, oh wow, like, within moments, like that's who we know who this character is. So I was kind of on a roller coaster ride, like trying to figure out who she exactly was and who she was fighting for and what she's about and what her cause is. And she wants revenge for her sister and her family, man. And it's like, yeah, I'm with all that. She goes, I don't care how far I gotta go with this thing, this shotgun. I'm take out from top to bottom. She does. She's like Rambo, man. She gets everybody up out of there. Just a real survivor. Yeah, it's a strong story, man. It is. It's a super strong story. I can see why they made like 10 more movies with her, probably.
Yeah.
I always like White Mama, Black Mama. That's another Pam Grier movie you guys should check out. White Mama, Black Mama.
My introduction to Pam Grier was Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Which is she's an unbelievable in.
Way too young watching Jackie Brown though. So I felt young, like I felt when I watched Jackie Brown when it came out when I was the age, and I shouldn't have, but I have older brothers and cousins, so I kind of like, oh yeah, and it's got Robert De Niro, he's great, but it's like, oh, this is not what you expect. I felt that watching a little bit Coffy. I felt that little, and maybe it's again all these like 70s breasts just popping out, and like, oh wow, no bras, right? Like that's just that wasn't a thing yet.
Wasn't it amazing in that scene where they're like in the big fight scene, and once the first girl's breasts pop out, I started laughing because I'm like, now you got to do all of them. Now everybody, because they're at the party, like I see where this is going. And then when it started to happen, I was like, you guys are going for it. You're really going for it.
It was funny. Like that's
and all the men, yeah, are just like, let's just back up.
And they're all like,
let's just back up and watch. And
don't nobody touch nobody. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
My favorite was probably when she went to go visit like the girl that was like a working girl that she came into.
That was one of my favorite scenes too.
and she cut her face and whatever, but trying to get that intel. It was just so random, and then that lady came in. I don't know who I was expecting her new pimp to be.
I thought
Oh,
that
yeah.
girl was pretty. I thought that actor was pretty good in that scene. I was like, wow, this is some pretty good acting. I actually thought it was like, it felt very much like a play in that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the two of them. And I was like, this woman who is in the scene with her must do theater, because she had like that theater feel.
Yeah,
Like she was really bringing the drama, but I felt like she was like bringing it.
Yeah.
I was like, I enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, I was like, Pam, get out of there. Get out of there, Pam.
Yeah. And then who threw the chair? Oh, the new one, the other lady that came in.
The
Yeah,
lady
she threw the chair. Yeah. But I was gonna say, the scene, I think it's later in the film. It's after all the breasts pop out. It's one of the sex workers, who's the blonde one, who gets beat up, and she's like got the black eye and everything, and she keeps like trying to get her pimp to love her. She's like, keep trying to have sex with him, which I thought that was interesting. They spent a lot of time like showing us that these women just really wanted desperately to have sex with this pimp. And she was like acting her ass off too, when she's like begging to suck his dick or whatever. She's like, can I please? And he's like, no, I gotta go. But like, that was like a big long scene of her just begging to have sex with him. I was like, what? They spent time on that. And she was really, I thought, very present and like.
I think they sort of had to, because it justifies like her jealousy in the next scene, right? Where she spills the drinks, the cocktails on her or whatever.
Oh yeah, so I guess that was before the boobs popping out.
It happened right before.
She was the new girl in the house, so they were kind of bullying her.
I think there was two similar scenes. I think the one
I'm talking about is the one that happened after, because she already had the black eye.
Yeah.
And that's right before he goes and dies. It's like the scene right before he gets in the car and they that scene was crazy. How they lynched him. That scene was insane.
That was nuts.
That scene
dragging
was like
him behind the car and his body hitting the curbs. I was like, God, that dude's dead.
I didn't expect that. I was watching, I was like, oh, like up until this point, this movie was fun. And then I just got so uncomfortable and was like, I didn't realize we were going to be watching like a lynching scene. It got so dark.
They kept stretching it out. I'm like, they're like, well, we have all this footage. Again, we haven't gotten to 90 minutes yet. Well, let's just show everything we got from that day, you know? But that was a great scene in the vehicle, like him kind of like trying to like, you know, like pretend like,
I'm not
like,
I feel like for a second he thought like, okay, this is definitely a joke. Like this is a joke. I feel like he authentically for a second was like, oh, we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which all that they made all that that could have not been interesting, but those three actors in the car definitely made that scene interesting.
Yeah, I do think the pimp. Who was it that Dino? Was it you that said the pimp? What you thought was a good actor, or was it you?
I did. I said the
I
pimp
did think
and the
he
senator.
was good, and the senator guy was good too.
Well, the pimp, he's been in like all the RoboCop movies. Robert Duquoy, Star Trek Generation. Like he's been, I think, in just a whole bunch of legit Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So I mean,
he felt like a theater actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how they really pimped him out though. Like his pimp outfit was like classic pimp wear. Yeah.
He showed like when he's walking into the pool to meet the Jamaican girl the first time. I was like, whoop! I saw everything there. Like that.
Her accent, her Jamaican accent was the worst Jamaican accent I've ever heard.
It was so bad. And if you noticed, when they would go to the back of her head, they would add in mon.
Yes.
Because like she probably wasn't saying it or wasn't in the script, but like maybe if we throw some more mons in there, it'll sound more Jamaican.
It was like going back and forth between like a little bit British and then like Southern. It didn't sound Jamaican at all.
No.
Even when she dropped the drinks on her, she lost it. She was like, accidents happen. I was like, wait.
Where's the accent?
Right.
Like, you's a bad hoe, girlfriend. You about to...
Speaking of not noticing little things, the guy that like recognized her at the party and like outs her when she tries to kill him, she technically didn't kill him, right? Like he's still on the loose.
I thought she shot him in the pool.
Didn't she ran him with a car? That the guy with the one eye that takes the glasses off?
The guy that like when they beat up the cop, there was two guys. There was like the
The
Hispanic
bald guy.
Italian guy, and then the guy that ripped
Yeah.
her clothes open. He was the one that like recognized her in the fight, and he told the guy like, "Hey, I got to tell you something." And then later on, when she comes over to the hotel, he says something to the bellhop about like they set her up basically. That guy and the guy with one eye are different people, but he
Yeah.
technically never came back.
I
Probably
don't
got
remember
busy
what he looks
that
like.
day.
And I don't know why that bothers me so much. She didn't get revenge on the whole posse because technically he was one of the guys that beat up the cop, and we didn't take him out.
I thought
Yeah,
they all
right.
got
I know you're talking about. You're right.
There's a third
You
goon.
guys know, you guys know that this movie is about how easily, women can become serial killers in society.
Listen, man, I was really happy because like by all accounts and measures, she wasn't supposed to get away from any of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she like as a woman, she's being set up even though she's being set up, even though she's being set up, right?
Mhm.
People are trying to drug her, rape her, rob her, kill her, beat her up, double cross her. Like everybody's out to get her. And by whatever measure, she just sort of like navigates this whole world that's against her, all to like, help save her sister, like, or
Yeah.
whatever, or revenge.
well.
It's kind
It
of
was.
wild.
It was. Everything was. I think I totally like everything. Like she should have been dead like 10 hours ago. But like
Yeah,
she swapped out his drug with like sugar or whatever, and then that just happened to be what saved her later because they, if not, she would have been drugged out and wouldn't have been able to fight back.
right.
So, like, yeah, it's one of those where accidentally she kept winning, right? Of
Yep.
like everything had to happen in a particular way, but I bought it because I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like movies, I don't know, Ocean's 11 or other movies now where it's like, we planned everything perfect because it had
Yeah.
to be this way, this way. With her, it was like,
It's a
oh
lot
no,
of luck.
like, yeah, it was luck. And it's kind
Being
of shown
scrappy.
that way. It's not shown as
Yeah.
like her planning it to perfection, but more so she's playing with the cards that she's getting dealt and she's just
Mhm.
going with it. And yeah.
It is there is something awesome about how like scrappy it is because she's
Yeah.
just a regular person. She's just a regular person, really, with her back. She's just in too deep, but now she's in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, like she is having like real emotional responses to everything as it's happening. It wasn't like she ever was like turned off emotionally to it. She was always like feeling the weight of everything that was happening, which I liked. I think that's why I was like buying the story, because I was like, it makes sense that she's feeling all of these things. Like she's just a person who's just like
Yeah.
acting, and she even says multiple times, she's like, I feel like I'm in a dream. I'm acting this way, like as if I'm in a dream.
I thought that was a great line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all feels like a dream right now, and I'm still in it. Like I was like, damn, that's just cold blooded.
Now, what was you guys' favorite death? I'm gonna go first and say the first dude when his head explodes like a watermelon.
Yeah,
That
when she
is a
shotguns his face off,
that is a
that's a,
classic.
it's pretty
Like
good. It's pretty good.
I like the shot in the dick at the
Oh, it's
end.
in the swimming pool.
No, at the
No,
very
no,
end, the senator, she like
the
shoots him in the
senator.
dick.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Dick shot.
Well deserved.
I got a well deserved
But
over here.
the head exploding like a watermelon, like I love that. I think that's great.
I think stabbing that dude in the neck and then nobody giving a fudge was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot that she did that with like the nail or whatever. The
He said,
little
call an ambulance. Cop said, I'm out.
yeah.
So that little
oh,
blade that she carried in her hair, that reminded me of that movie we saw. I think it was called the Immortal. Wait, what was it called? The something blade or something? The Hidden Blade,
Yeah.
where the assassin or whatever, yeah, the assassin assassinated the emperor or whatever with the little tiny needle in his heart. And I was like, oh, she has a little tiny needle, and went into his neck. And I remember thinking, this is how you know, like black people probably wrote this. I remember thinking, like, you're gonna have to hit him more than once with that damn needle. And then the next like 6 came, and I was like, "Thank you."
Well, and you could even be like, well, she's a nurse, so she might know exactly where to
Oh
go
yeah,
with
That's
a
what I
needle.
thought when she did the needle, because at first when she hit him, I was like, oh, this is a fucking little needle. Like, and she poked him a couple times, but I was like, it's
yeah.
not. And then I had the thought where I was like, oh, she probably knows exactly where the jugular is, because he
Yeah,
was like gushing blood.
yeah.
She was
Somebody,
killing people, man. She was getting them the fuck out of there. Okay, so my favorite is the car with the guy with the one eye he gets smushed to death. He
Oh, I
explodes.
liked the smushing. The smushing was good. Lots of
what?
fun
Yeah,
deaths.
yeah. Such great, like for a movie of this budget or whatever, very creative, very fun. I mean, what a great thing! We finally see his eye. Like, yeah, like
That
are
was
we
a fun
gonna?
effect.
Yeah, are we gonna know what it is? Are we gonna know? And it's just like that, and then just like wham! Didn't see it coming because you had your glasses and you needed to be able to see with the one eye that
I also
works.
like that, like it was like the play on like the an eye patch, like the eye
Yeah,
patch villain that we've seen so many times, but it was his glasses and it was black. I
Yeah,
thought that was cool.
yeah.
yeah, that was cool, definitely.
I feel bad for the guy whose car she took. I hope he's okay.
Oh
Okay.
man, that guy deserved it. I was
He
like,
deserved
everybody
it.
knows this dude. That's like Valley Jim. That's like,
He's about to
you
get
know,
so gross and creepy. He
I
deserved
like the
it.
Valley has never changed. That guy is still driving around the Valley right now trying to give girls
He's
rides
looking
With
for
that
some girl that
car,
wants to get too
with
drunk
with
and yeah.
with that same car.
with that same
Yes,
car.
yes. Dino, what was your favorite death? Did you say?
I, I think the lynching. I mean, because who? Because it's so extra. Because I'm
It's
like,
very
okay,
gangster, isn't it?
and it looks so good for so much of it. Because
Yeah.
I thought it would automatically just be like, oh yeah, this is just
Like a flopping
dragging.
dummy or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't look like that.
But
No,
they
it
did
did
a good
not.
job of like filming him run and like struggle with it and trying different things. But then I'm like, okay, we're gonna show him drag out, and then the minute it hits one thing, it'll be like a push off, and that's it. And then it's like, no, boink, boink, just
Yeah.
like I'm like, is this Jackie Chan? Like, what's going on? Of like just like
It was very gangster.
it's like going down the whole valley, right? Runyon Canyon or something. I don't know. Like, did they start up at Griffith Observatory and just like we're gonna
It,
go
it's
and
brutal, man. They took him down into the river. Wasn't they ended like in the river? Or was behind the alley or something? Because they were knocking him into like boxes and shit.
yeah, it hit a box at the very end, and I was it was crazy because it took everything here where I thought like, oh, it's gonna be a quick thing. Same thing with the needle and like they just held it on that guy. They're like, we're just gonna have him be like, kind of like help me, like, and that's
They
like.
like, listen, we spent the money on these things that explode blood out your neck. We're using them, all of them.
Use them.
Use them. All these squibs are getting used tonight.
And it was great. No one gave a shit about their buddies. As soon as they were like showing death already, I was like,
Out of
nah,
there.
I could hold something up to your neck or
Yeah.
But as
something.
the cop, I got it
Yeah.
too. He's like, well, what is he gonna do? Like, oh yeah, I found this gangster in the LA River that I'm like, he's having a meeting with a bunch of gangsters. It's every man for themselves. They're all a gang.
Yeah.
It was the
He definitely
70s.
was about to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly with the.
I
with
also
the-
like how this movie recognizes police officers as the bad guys. They are
Yeah.
also a plague on the community.
Yes.
how people can be bought. So
Except for the one good cop who died or was put in a coma.
I wish he would have had more screen
Oh
time.
no!
Or
Yeah.
If he's lucky, he'll be able to pee by himself again.
Yeah.
That was a line. Like I'm like, oh, give it to
Oh,
me
that was one of the
straight.
lines. I think I missed that.
Yeah, it's like, give it to me straight, doctor. What are his chances? Well, if he's lucky, he'll be able to pee by himself again.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I really thought he was gonna have a happy ending, like the flirting. and
I
stuff.
know. I kind of thought too. I thought maybe I was like, oh man. But I did like the line. I don't know. I think it was. I don't know, Jason. You maybe brought it up. The one where she says, and it's for a nice cop named Curtis.
She said, "This is for my little sister and a
Sister
nice
and
cop
nice cop.
named Curtis."
Yeah.
I died when she said that because I'm like,
Yeah.
what a final line, like as your like tag, like come on, man, that's the worst tagline in like action movie history. For
If there's,
and a nice cop named Curtis. What?
Yeah.
This is for my little sister and a nice cop named Curtis. Come on, man.
I love that she always kept like a nice tone. Like I know it's
Yeah,
unrealistic. It is
like
Mhm.
very sweet.
it's like the male gaze kind of
She was
voice.
male gaze big time. She was like a woman throughout this whole movie, like every scene. Like she was so emotional, which I liked in a way because I'm like, she's having real responses. She's not this major badass. She's a nurse who's just emotional and acting on her emotions. So she would be having these responses. But it was very much like,
Sometimes no. Like sometimes like when the guy was in the pool, he's like, I'll give you $1 million. She's like, $1 million? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I didn't see it coming after she said the $1 million. I'm like, oh, okay, they're about to make some type of weird deal. It's not gonna, and then nope, right? I don't care. You're dead.
Those are the
Like,
moments where I was like, they did that on purpose, like to make it be like she's just like this delicate flower through and through. And but
yeah.
see, Tarantino wants a story like this. He's like, I just wish it had better dialogue. That's all Tarantino wants.
Somebody said that it reminded them a little bit of like Kill Bill type of stuff. I can definitely see that too.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Or
so
even
much
like
of, I feel
Austin
like,
Powers
yeah.
or something like when.
Well, the other thing that it made me think of that, right? We're talking about how Pam Grier in this it breaks down, right? In a couple times throughout the movie, basically, of dealing and struggling with it. And like in Kill Bill Volume 2, it's basically not until the very end when she has completed, her mission of, spoiler? Everyone seen Kill Bill 2 here?
Yeah.
If you
Right?
haven't, man, no.
Huh?
If you haven't, I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after the Killing Bill part and like right before credits when she's achieved all that, she starts crying on the bathroom floor and then kind of laughing and hugging like the toy, the stuffed toy. And it's just one of those like that I feel like I saw in Coffee in the moments of the struggling with the like basically everything she's had to deal with to get to that point. Whereas in Coffee, you see it almost in real time. Like it's just yeah. Again, Tarantino saw all these movies and had them as
Ripped him off.
homage.
Was like, I want to make him better.
Yeah, homage, rip off, the
I
thing.
mean, yeah. I feel like he like ripped. There was like some things where we're like, that's like, it feels like almost like a direct rip off that he did. But even this character is so much like the character in Kill Bill in so many ways. Yeah.
But I mean, talk about the thing. Like he said, basically, Reservoir Dogs is the thing, only that indoors where they're, and then the Hateful Eight is the opposite, where there's only one person that's the actual, is true or whatever. So yeah, he's open about the stuff that he steals and he enjoys and he wants to kind of. That's why then he also hires all these actors, actresses from the Shaw Brother movies and all that stuff to put in his movies, which, it's kind of like gotta respect that. Like, hey, yeah, you're stealing these ideas, these stories, reusing music and all that, but it's you're pulling it out there that people had never seen it. Will we be talking about Coffee right now if it's not because at one point or another we had seen Tarantino and we'd seen Pam Grier in one of the Jackie Brown,
Yeah.
So
I mean, Jackie Brown was a huge turning point for Pam Grier. So she like owes a lot to him for her career because before that she was just like this blaxploitation actor, and he took that and like commented on it with that movie and elevated it.
Same as the other actor in it that was like a lot of he's done, and John Travolta, right?
John Travolta,
yeah,
that's
like his MO. He loves doing that.
Yeah. Which I mean, he's brilliant enough to like he knows this person's work and they haven't had their best day yet. Like he's aware of it. Like, yeah, there's this person's good enough to have had a better day than this.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank goodness for Tarantino. He found a few people like that for us. Michael Madsen, probably.
I don't know. Free Willy's pretty amazing. So
I did want to say,
Death Proof about
I
the.
actually haven't
What-
seen that one. I feel bad. I have not seen Death Proof.
You've never seen Death Proof?
I've never seen Death Proof.
What?
Is that one he did with? Is that one he did with Eli Roth or whatever? Or is
Yes.
that
Not
it
Eli
is?
Roth. It was with Rodriguez.
Yeah, Eli Roth. That's four rooms. Is one where it's every room is a different director, and stories kind of intertwine. That's another great little film, and it's four different directors that direct kind of I don't know if anthology is the right word.
No,
for
that's
it.
right. That would be accurate, I think.
Yeah, in a hotel room, and I think Eli Roth, the bellboy, and he
Yes.
gets sent to the different hotel rooms, and yeah. So I would recommend that as well, 4 rooms, because that's just wacky tobacco, good times all around.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, but definitely do yourselves a favor and watch Death Proof. It's an all-female cast at that. Like it's incredible.
Well, mostly.
Oh, except for the bad guy.
Marina won't be happy until it's only women.
Well, I'm happy with the ending. Haha, wink, wink. Yeah, but
You're happy with the ending of what? Sorry.
Death Proof.
Oh, well, I haven't seen it, so don't spoil
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Also of Coffy, right? I mean,
Oh, I did want to say something about the ending of Coffy before
Yeah.
I forget. Okay, because
Mhm.
this was my like biggest problem with the story and the script was like I felt like the ending when she was in the room and she's talking to the senator and he's like trying to talk her out of it and he's like, you know, I'm your man and you know you love me and all that stuff and she's like having this emotional feeling. I was like thinking I knew there was somebody upstairs, obviously, because he came down in his robe and he had the ice bucket. So I was like, there's somebody upstairs.
See, that's your winning clues telling you, because I don't think any of the guys knew. I think maybe the women were like, oh, look at the clues. He's got champagne. Like you saw it as a woman.
Yeah, like I saw
when he was meeting a girl.
I
Unless
knew
he
he
was
was
lying.
with, I knew he was with some girl, but at
I
the
didn't
same
see it.
time
I saw it.
but
Oh,
like
you saw it too?
Yeah.
But what
Okay.
drove me crazy was that it was just some girl. Like that's what drove me crazy, and that was like one of the biggest problems I had. And I feel like it kind of made the ending like wah wah, like a little bit for me because I was like, why? It would be better if it was somebody personal to her, like her sister. Like he
Oh my
got the
God.
sister up there, you know,
Jesus.
like he's like used her sister, and that's the thing that makes her be like, I'm blowing your dick off. Like you crossed a line. You got my sister. Like. I even had the thought, I was like, oh my God, her sister's up there. Oh my God, it'll be so fucking good. She's going to kill him. And like when she sees it, he's like not changed. And he's like somehow, or if it wasn't her sister, it could have been someone else that was like personal, like, or somebody that we met along the way or something like that blonde bitch that we saw earlier. It's like, it's her up there, you
But
know,
Matilda,
like
counterpoint. Are you?
hang on. Yeah. That was like the one thing I
It
was like, oh, it's just
was
some
a
random
nobody.
woman.
It was a nobody to her. That's how little she matters.
But but that point doesn't stand because really quickly counter argument. She was going around fucking everybody. Like the whole movie, she's like, she was like, okay, I'm gonna kill you later, but I'm gonna have sex with you. Like she was doing that. So I'm like, they could have their little nobodies. I don't think the nobodies matter. I think it would be more weighty if it was somebody that like had affected her at some point.
I
mean,
think
but like,
a writing
who
error.
was left? Who was left?
I think that was a writing error because, and that's where I went back to kind of how I didn't. The one thing I kind of was about was like her monotone, like perfect woman voice the whole time. Is like I didn't even think she loved him, and then so for her to kind of break down and be like, "I loved you."
I know because we only had that one scene where she's like having sex with him, and she's like, "You're my man." I had the same thought.
See, I thought she was going to flip it on him. Like, I was like, he needs to be very convincing to a point, but I also thought like she was like, no matter what happens, no matter what you say, I'm going to let you get it all out, and then I'm going to blow your dick off. Like, I thought that was coming, and it was going to be that kind of attitude, like, nah, because that's kind of how she killed the dude in the pool, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Like,
the way they were
She's-
saying it is that she was like believing it, and it just kind of was weird. Like they didn't have like this consistent storyline with her, like even to the point where like like she had sex with the King George guy so she could prove that she was down. It was just interesting. Like And it
Yeah.
can't be perfect, and we don't even know if like it was on purpose or
I
not.
don't think this movie can be perfect.
When
But
she was just like, "I loved you," I was like, I thought you were using him because of his political power. Like I thought we were like on game the whole time. So that I got kind of confused there. And then I
It did-
also think he should
Or
have.
Yeah.
was it because there was a white girl that he had upstairs?
Wait, that's what you think?
No, there's something to that too. The idea that like this black man was foiled by a white girl.
Well, I just thought
I did honestly have that thought, but I was like, did she kill that blonde girl, the one with the? I was like, why couldn't it be her or like somebody, or just like not have her be affected by any woman? Like, I just like what you were saying, Jason, about like you thought she was just going to give it to him, like regardless, like let him get his words out. Like I think that what it did, what soured it for me was the fact that she was affected by that woman, and it was like, and that was the motivation to kill him. I'm like, she should kill him regardless. Like he's like she's smarter than that. We don't want to see her be like kind of wooed and then be like, well, there's a woman, now I'm gonna kill you. Like I was like,
Right.
she already was so strong and like building the strength throughout the movie and like being smart and savvy and getting out of all these situations. And then at the last minute, this guy's gonna be like, come on, baby, you know, you and me, like we should be. I'm like, that's stuff we're supposed to believe that's supposed to, and then like this woman is the reason that she's gonna shoot his dick off. No, like she's gonna shoot his dick off regardless. Or like make it somebody that matters, that like pulls her out of it, like
I guess I thought regardless he was gonna die, right? I didn't think it depended. Well, I guess now
I don't know. I think they were saying that she was in love with him and she was believing that he did what he had to do to survive, which she could probably relate to because she's been surviving the whole movie.
I thought maybe she wanted to believe in him. I don't know if she loved him. I just felt like those tears was kind of like, I was hoping you were a good one.
Yeah.
And I think the woman thing, I'm kind of indifferent on who it could have been. I think it's the fact that he was willing to have sex with somebody, knowing that she was gonna die an hour ago. I think that was
funny. That was like, that made me laugh when he was like, "Baby, you have to understand. I thought you were dead." I laughed out loud. I was like, "That's the best."
It was kind of funny because like just when he thought he might turn her, like she goes, "You know what? Maybe you're right." Like the woman comes, go, "Baby, you gotta understand."
I thought you were dead. Like, yeah, I laughed
because he's the one that said it, right? That to me, I just thought he was always gonna get killed by her because he's the one that said, "Go kill her," because they're like, "Say it out loud," right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the boss says? You say it out loud, and it was like, "Fucking kill her" or whatever the words were. So I just assumed.
Oh yeah.
Coming from a retired gangster, though, I could see how he would believe that he did what he had to do. What was he gonna say? I love her. Don't kill me. It wasn't gonna. So
well, right. That's the whole thing. I was like, I feel like he could almost talk himself out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like he almost has a.
I don't care if I hear Talita or whoever say, because they're in a situation where it might matter to them, oh, fucking kill Dino, and then I make it out and I go, and then it's
what
like,
if you're the senator?
I knew you were smart
you're
enough.
a powerful senator.
You're just not about that life. It's okay. You know what I mean? You gotta. It's
so many people depend on the senator.
No, I just think like I always say, like before I obviously had a husband and child, I would be like, if I ever got married and they tell me they're gonna kill them, I'd shoot them myself so it won't be torture. Like that's how far it goes when you're dealing with gangsters because they don't care. They're gonna kill you no matter.
They're gonna drag you from the back of a car.
Exactly. So it's like I can see, I mean, but he ruined it by literally not giving a fudge and going to have a romantic evening in a cabin, like seconds after he thinks that she might be dead. Like, I think, like, yeah, I mean, I would have believed.
That's just wild, for sure.
You see double agent stuff all the time, and people get it because they get it. But yeah, it was weird. Like I said, it can't be the perfect script. She wasn't a perfect. She wasn't like a Batman where she's been doing this for decades and like it was a lot to digest, but I could see in the moment. I was just very confused. I did not think she actually cared about him. I thought he was a part of her scheme, like getting in with somebody in that level, trying to make changes within the community. Like,
yeah, it could be. Yeah.
I got the impression that the filmmaker wanted us to believe that she cared about him because of the way that she was like, "I love you, you're my man," or whatever early on. Even though I thought it was poorly executed, like I didn't think it was done well, but I was like, I think that's the impression we're supposed to get.
To me, just like she was in the car with the other guy. And she was like, yeah, Big Daddy, I'll do anything for you. It sounded the exact same. That's why I wish she would have had more range on her personality. But I felt like they were trying to make her like this Stepford pretty person. And it really got confusing. Because when they were doing that, I was like, this is just another person that she's just like.
They could have built that up a little bit more, like in that scene, like in the first scene with him. They could have talked more about their history. They could have talked more about like, you know, you and I have been whatever for so long and blah, blah, blah. And like, let's take it to the next level. Like it could have been a little like given to us a little bit more.
I got an actual note that says that those scenes were actually in the film, but they were cut because they needed more boobs in the.
Listening to you.
You be going.
Or even better, they weren't cut. There are in it. We are all just mesmerized by the boobs. We missed all those lines of dialogue.
I was mesmerized by Pam Grier's boobs.
I just feel like she talked to every man the exact same way. Like she could have had sex with anybody.
I hear you on that. Yeah.
And I would have thought like the same tone, the way she talked to the cop. Oh yeah, hey, you're da. The way she talked to the guy. Ooh yeah. The way she talked to everybody.
Yeah. But don't you think it would have been so much
kind
more?
I could be wrong about this, but it almost felt like sort of like a Black Widow technique.
Yeah, I was
like, he's like, I'm going to like any man who's that easily like can be easily deceived by sex or whatever. It's like weak, anyways, right? So it's like I'm going to use that bit of weakness to pop his ass or whatever I got to do.
Yeah. I get why it was done, but it definitely added to my confusion of how she felt about people.
But like, I think that Black Widow technique thing was what I wanted when I was feeling like most of the movie. But then that last scene, that's why I was like, it didn't do it for me, because I would have liked to see her be like even if the woman had come down and it was just some random white woman, I would have loved to see her be like, you think I care? Like you were gonna die this whole time, or like fuck you, or like kill the bitch too, like something.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I think you have to kill her too now. Like
for her to be like, oh no, I was gonna kill you anyway, and like fuck you too, bitch, like or something. I mean, I know that she didn't kill the innocent woman, but like, you know what I mean? I was like, I wanted to see more of like either make it personal that this person is like a personal person to her, that like that's the impetus, or it's like fuck you, I was gonna do it the whole time and I had you going for a second with my little crying I loved you game. Like,
or she said like, bitch, pack up all his pockets, get everything you can, get the fuck out of here, you've never seen me. Like she empathizes with the girl.
Yes.
You gotta, but you have to acknowledge her.
Yes. Yeah. The lady's like screaming bloody murder.
I was satisfied, especially, get this, dick shot, guy survives. White girl now has to be with a dickless bro.
I don't think she's here to stay. I don't
think that's how it works.
But yeah, it was interesting. Maybe they just wanted to end it to show that she's like, she has emotions at the end of the day, and her adrenaline wore off from running from cops and up a hill and over, like running through the highway.
I really just think the director thinks that's as deep as women are.
You're really putting magnifying glass over a Blaxploitation film.
I know. I mean, that's the thing is, I'm like, the movie could have been elevated because of that last scene.
Let's rewrite it. Call it Latte. Let's go.
This is all the director had in him.
Okay, can I just tell you guys my favorite scene real quick? Just real quick. It's the fight scene. I know you guys are like, Jason, the scene with all the boobs. It's not because of the boobs, but I mean, it's amazing from the time when everyone starts acting catty in the house to her spilling the drinks, going into the next room, the plot thickens. She, all of that. Like she fixes the cocaine, the drugs, and then it's like the plot really starts moving there. Then she comes out, whoops all these bitches. You know what I mean? Just like by sheer will, really.
Talita said
the hair raisers,
legs in the
perfect. Like, she's cunning. She's like I know one of these bitches is gonna try to grab my hair and that's gonna fuck her up. I'm like, damn, that's so cold.
That was what I loved, the hair raisers, but I do think that's like a kind of a hole in that, like, because they were touching her head and slapping her and stuff. I'm like, you don't think those razors would have gone right into her skull, like cut her? I mean, that's like, I'm being nitpicky, but like, I couldn't stop thinking about that. I was like, she's going to get her head's going to get cut too. Like,
just bleeding mid-fight, just trickling blood down her face.
Yeah.
It's like when they touching, they were like very close, but they touched like right next to where there was no blade,
Yeah. And it was also like, bro, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
she had him like an inch off of her head.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she placed them. She's a nurse. She knew where to put the blade so that it wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah, all of that, all those fight sequence, her flipping people, all that was great. I loved it.
Also, honorary mention of just because it wasn't really pertinent to our plot or whatever is them with the answering machine and the talking and the business part of it, and then just talking like, haha. And then like the one girl is like, I'm just so tired. Like I forget what. Like I've
Oh
been
my God,
cheated.
I totally
And
forgot
then
about that.
and,
And she's
and
like, I
then
have
just
one for
like,
you. And she's like, not the fat guy again. That
well,
that lady you talking about?
well, yeah, but that whole interaction, because before that, it's the blonde girl that's like laid out and she's had it rough, and then they're like, it's only a blowjob or some shit like that,
Yeah.
and the lady that's taking the calls and everything, she's handing them, she's got a vendetta on all of them, because girl was like, I'm too beat up or whatever, and she's like, and you're going for a blowjob, and then you're going to the fat guy, and they're like,
I love so much this idea that a pimp has like an actual office where his
Receptionist.
Yeah.
hoes work, and
Yeah.
there's a hoe receptionist,
Yeah.
and they're delegating to the
Yeah.
other hoes who are resting in between their hoe work while they're like naked and getting massages, and like that was
Wasn't
so
that what the
funny.
Bunny Ranch was with Dennis? What's his face in Nevada? The Reno, the
Oh
Bunny Ranch.
yeah, I think that
You
place
know
is
what I'm talking
still
about?
there. Yeah, I
The
know exactly
HBO
what you're
thing.
talking about. Yep.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know that. I don't know that.
that
Yeah,
dude will
there's
be
like,
running the country with Trump right now if he was still alive.
because is he dead?
He won an election. He won the Nevada election the year Trump got elected, and he died like 10 days before the election day, but he still won.
Oh my God. Well, is the Bunny Ranch still there? No, I gotta look
I
that
don't
up.
know. Dennis something is his name, but I don't know if the Bunny Ranch is still there, but that's what you just described. They had a whole receptionist.
They did. Like, which kind of girl do you want? This is what we have.
The perspective of that martini glass on your camera and where you're at looked huge. Because it's just like where you're placing it is like so close to the camera. I'm like,
I'm so
damn.
tiny, I'm swimming in my martini glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm having my coffee.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
All
All right, let
right.
me give you
So,
guys a little bit of business before we start wrapping up, I
I
guess.
am dying to know this. I almost Googled this, so I am dying to know this.
Okay, so for the budget of this movie in 1973 was 500K. But I got some interesting stuff about the gross actually. Some interesting stuff about the box office. 2 million grossed, and most likely this was probably only playing like in black theaters, around the country. To be honest with you, but so this had a $2 million gross upon its release. But then here's something where something interesting happened. It says in its 14th week of release, Coffy became the #1 top grossing film in the country, grossing $625,750 that week. Something happened in the 14th week of release where this shot up to be the #1 movie in the country.
Yeah. Somebody said there's boobs and they came.
It just maybe it got released in the right markets like Chicago, Detroit, Tampa. I don't know. You know what I mean? And then like
Also, I'm sorry. I know we talked a lot about the boobs, but Pam Grier's ass at that one moment, like when she turned around she pulled her pants down, her ass came out. I was like, this also deserves recognition. Like her ass was amazing. She had like a tiny little waist and like she was gorgeous.
every part of her, like your
Yeah.
eyes are just drawn to her, and
I mean,
she's
she's
like,
like beautiful in the face. Like she's like a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
yeah, she's amazing. Yeah,
Jason,
so those are just interesting. Those are just interesting numbers, I think. But
Nice, it made profit.
yeah, it definitely made profit. I mean, this is 1973, so they're usually like, they're literally moving a film reel around the country at this time.
Right.
And this is an independent film, right? This isn't a studio film.
500K still sounds like a lot, like in the 70s.
Oh, it's definitely a lot.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like a lot. I almost am like, they could have done a little bit better.
Definitely a lot.
They could have maybe used that. They maybe could have gotten a little a better sound. The sound was the worst part for me.
Sounds a lot as well. I don't know if that some of that money maybe, I don't know if that came later. I mean, who all was big for in the film name wise. I mean, you have some actors, that are kind of recognizable from other movies a little bit, but yeah. Um, was this Jason? Did they talk? Remember that documentary we saw, midnight showings and
Yeah,
stuff
this is definitely mentioned.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. That
Yeah.
it was definitely brought up at a certain point. Um, man, I thought she was gonna be going around like even the posters are so cool. I just assumed she had a sawed off shotgun with her the whole time, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
taking guys out.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
also
realize it was
gives
going to be like a
it gives
hitman
Hobo
origin
with the
story.
shotgun feels, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, hobo with a shotgun. Yeah, it does. MGM took this movie out, huh? Like all the stills are MGM watermarked.
Hmm.
They must either bought it or distributed it.
Ooh.
They all got the MGM watermark
Yeah.
on it.
I didn't see an MGM seal when the movie came on. At least I didn't notice one.
I mean, for it to make 2 mil, you said 2 million?
2 million.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good return in 1970 off of $500,000 budget.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, if the $500,000 included marketing, which normally budgets like don't include the marketing budget, but I
But
feel like
remember, in
that just sounds
'73,
inflated.
movies stayed in the theater a lot longer. They weren't just like
Right,
booted out.
right.
If they kept the distributor making money, they would just hold on to them.
And even in the 90s, they stayed in the theaters a lot longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything now is like
Titanic
two
was in the
weeks.
movies for a year.
It deserved to be there.
For a year, that movie stayed in the cinema. It was crazy. It's had its own little dedicated theater at my neighborhood theater.
One of my favorite movies of all time. Perfect.
In Portugal, the title was Coffee, Justicia da Mulher,
What?
Women's Justice,
Oh,
Justice of the Women.
All
it
right.
was. It was interesting that like this whole story was about her getting, her avenging her sister, but we barely saw her sister, and when we did, she was just like laid up with that
Yeah,
creepy gray makeup on or whatever.
right.
Well, and that's why it was also a nice cop named. It was just not her sister. It was
Nice
everyone.
cop named
It was
Carter.
also a nice.
It was two sisters though, right? Like she had a sister that died, and then she found out that her little sister was starting to be affected
No, I
by
thought it was just one
Yeah.
sister.
No, she had an older sister. She talks about how it was like the older sisters were also like the bad influence and stuff like that. And so like the younger sister was still kind of not tainted basically by the system or the whatever and
Mm.
all and wasn't able to make it basically because
They were
oh,
praying. They were
and
praying on their whole family.
she was sending money to the house. That's right, Talita. She remembers. She was sending money to the house, and then she finds out that the younger sister was just using it for drugs. After all,
Oh, right. She had a boyfriend that was attached himself to her because she was getting a little help.
yeah.
That's right. I remember that.
hmm
Wow.
So, but yeah, it was funny because I watched it with my husband, and she killed the guy, and he was like, "Wait, didn't she get the vengeance? Like, what's next?" Like, it's a wrap before the credits even come up. So it was just because I was like, she got the top of the drug chain that she was interested in too, and it was like, wait, who else are we gonna kill?
Well,
So
that's the thing, right? It's like Shane, like the Western, just rides off into the distance.
That last shot of her on the beach with the sunset, like the golden hour, that was a beautiful shot. That
what beach was
was
that? You guys know what beach that was?
I don't
no.
know, but it
It was,
says Glendale Highway is one of the shooting locations.
Mm.
Yeah, that looked like a beach in Glendale. I knew it.
I didn't even like pay it that much attention, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. I was like, was it like pre-pier? Like when was the pier built? I don't know. Well,
Do you guys want to jump into our final thoughts?
Sure.
Dino doesn't want to.
I'm just looking a lot of driving. Oh, Echo Park somewhere. Damn. Oh, body dragged in park scenes. Elysian Park.
Oh, wow.
All right. Yeah, let's get into final thoughts. I'll go really quick. again, every time, for the most part, I feel like 99.9% of the time, so that I'm sitting down to watch a blaxploitation film or even one of those like dubbed kung fu films, stuff from the 70s that I just assume, because usually when you hear that, people are like, it's just really bad. Like it's enjoyable or whatever, but I've actually been surprised in like, oh no, there's a lot of really good stuff here. There's actually even some better stuff in this film than some of the major releases from the same year and stuff like that. So I really enjoy that. Yeah, the film. Would I recommend it? Yeah. Again, like if people like Tarantino or there's certain types of films that people like, I would recommend this. It's a moment in history for sure for cinema, like women empowerment, even you could say, and revenge flicks and all that. It has so much in it. It's funny, action, wild, wild. Yeah, if you're interested in film, also you gotta see this. Like, look at what was done in the '70s. We got no excuse to not be able to go out there and do something. So yeah, I'm just really happy with the film. I also want to point out we already did watch My Name Dolomite or something, and it's that makes watching these black exploitation films now make me think that movie's so much better, and like Eddie Murphy and all of them need to get more credit as kind of showing the back stories or backstage of what it was making these kind of black exploitation films of the time. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. I'd recommend it to a whole lots of people. It's hard for me to find people I wouldn't recommend it to because I enjoyed the film. If I enjoyed the film, I'm going to recommend it. So go watch the film.
Okay.
All right. Steve turned on his light, so let's get Steve's uh, final thoughts.
Alrighty, final thought. Uh, this movie is very titillating.
Nice.
Yes, I got the laugh. No, this movie is actually. I honestly, black exploitation movies are a genre that just like my recent discovery of like Brazilian Portuguese film is a genre that I want to explore more and deeper because I feel like there's a lot of gems there that like they haven't reached the surface or they don't have enough marketing power or whatever that I haven't been able to see. But the fact that we've seen this Dolomite and stuff like that has made me curious more in that genre. So I am definitely curious to see more. Um, and I would definitely recommend it to a lot of people. I feel like there's a little bit for everybody, especially perverts. And like Jason. And yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Right
Nice.
on. Right on.
Michaela, how about you? Final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts was this movie, it hit my, I love a 90-minute movie. I've said that before, but I really do love a 90-minute movie. Like when it gets in and out, it's entertaining. I thought that it did that. It was like, I think this movie was exactly at the 90-minute mark. So I got excited when I saw that. And I thought it was fun. I liked all the Yitty Titties. I was happy to see them be so comical and springy and have good comedic timing. I really thought that like the story was good and had good arc. Like a lot of movies you watch, you're like, this doesn't have good arc. It's flat. I thought this one, it had nice arc. So I was impressed by that. And like I said, I think this is my first blaxploitation movie I've ever seen all the way through. I don't remember ever seeing one all the way through before. So it does make me want to explore the genre more. Like what Steve was saying, I definitely want to explore the genre more and watch more. Like I immediately was like, I want to watch Foxy Brown next. I've never seen that. I definitely want to see more Pam Grier doing this to see what, like I watched Jackie Brown when I was younger. That was something I saw in college and I loved it. And it really shaped my love for cinema. And I feel like watching blaxploitation movies now would be really interesting. And then going back and seeing Jackie Brown again would be interesting because I haven't seen it in years. So I'm excited to explore it more. And I think that this movie is good for people who want to explore the genre. I don't think it passes the Bechdel test, but almost, because there's a scene with her talking to the other woman about the pimp, which technically they're talking about a man, but they're not talking about like sex or romance. So kind of almost passes the Bechdel test. So I feel like if you want to see a movie about a woman being strong and powerful and kicking ass, this is a good one. And I think I will watch it again. I think when I saw it last night, I was like, I don't know if I would watch this again because at times I was bored and I don't think it was like super well made. But it was also fun and I laughed and I was surprised and I thought some of the acting was good and Pam Grier is a star and is amazing. So yeah, I might watch it again.
Let's go see it when last year we missed it. I think in November or October they had it either at the Vista or New Beverly. So we just should go watch it when they put it back in one of the theaters.
This would be really fun to see in the theater. Yeah.
All right, Marina, how about you?
You know, always cool to watch. Yeah, a new genre. It was interesting. I was taken off guard, but I don't think I've watched a lot of Pam Grier's earlier work, so it was definitely kind of cool to see her in her youth. And again, I'm just very very grateful for how some of the OGs in acting, what they went through, and how far we've come in telling these stories without having to be so sexualized. But it's just really really interesting to watch, just seeing her do it. So again, thankful for people who really have walked until like society had learned that we can like tell these stories and have these like super strong characters without it having to show the boobs. So really cool to watch like the beginning of it all. But yeah, and I definitely recommend it for someone who's interested in film and like seeing how film has evolved, and just like it technically was some really good, like with the guy got his head blown off. Like I feel like that was really well done for the 70s. Like there was a lot of things in the movie were really well done for the time. So definitely would recommend this to someone who's into filmography and just seeing like, wow, they really did it without having like the special effects that we have today. Probably won't watch it again because you guys know I'm like the icky. I'm like, I don't want to see all that, but I would maybe see something else that she's been in, because it kind of opened the door. I might have seen one movie where she wasn't like the main character, but I don't remember if that was her or not. And I don't remember the name of the movie, but definitely want to look up her past and maybe watch a couple more things that she's been in. But yeah, that's it.
Coolio. Jason, final thoughts?
Right on. So I do remember that this isn't even the first Pam Grier movie we watched. She actually, according to this, is in Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Bet she played like maybe a one-liner or something of that, but that's her first movie, and we've seen that one here. Um, I did really like this movie. It's always kind of a treat when I get to see a black exploitation film. Like I don't attack them as much as I probably should. Even after watching that really good documentary, the one that me and Dino watched on Netflix, is this Black Enough for You? Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's all about the black exploitation film era in Hollywood. Um, yeah, and everyone like this Coffee was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be because I always kind of knew like, oh well, it's probably not very good acting and it's cheaply made and it's like not much attention paid to it because it's this kind of film, but I know it's like highly ambitious. Like you knew all like the tropes of what it is, but I guess I was never really drawn straight up to a Pam Grier movie before. I've never seen Foxy Brown. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of all these movies, so I just kind of assumed I knew what they were. I do believe I may have watched most of White Mama, Black Mama. If you guys don't know, that's the one that takes place in a women's penitentiary, so you can only imagine. I think I saw that as a little boy watching Showtime or HBO up at night.
Snuck it. You snuck it.
I snuck it. I was like, "What is this White Mama, Black Mama?" They are prison ladies. I hope they get out. So I was just thinking, like, I would recommend this to other people. I would recommend this to a lot of people who are cinephiles who got to watch film, people who are into black exploitation films, people who want to see early black cinema where black people were allowed to like play heroes and stuff. This is cool, just as a bit of like American documentation as well. It's a strong woman in this thing for the most part, and she kicks butt, and she gets it's a revenge flick, man. So it's like this is just as good as to me any cowboy or samurai movie of the same sort of like plot line or any action film of people getting. It's just like Lady Rambo. It's awesome. She's just using what she's got, in a very precarious situations all the time. Like everybody's preying on her and her sisters. So I dig it. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I will watch this movie again, man. Like I look forward to the day. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it again right away, but if it popped up right away, like if we saw it in the cinema, yeah. But I do want to watch it again. But I also want to go back and watch Black Mama, White Mama again.
Nice. Is there a drinking game with that? Every time they say Black Mama or White Mama, you got to drink. Will we get toasty just from natty light shots of White Mama, Black Mama?
I'll, I don't know, but I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, I think that's it, right? We all did our final thoughts. Jason, anything else?
Yeah, I do. Steve, what do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so happy and so glad that you asked me because it is my turn.
Oh,
Yay!
I've been debating a lot of movies, man. I've been postponing it and everything because, I mean, the real movie I want you guys to watch is a Brazilian film, but I'm having so many issues right now finding that film. So I'm going to leave that for another time. But for now, I got inspired by the movie Coffee to explore a new genre. And that genre is called uh, I want to see everybody's faces when I reveal the genre. When we're gonna see a new genre inspired by coffee, and that genre is called pornography. And we're going to see Debbie Does Dallas. No, I'm kidding. Uh,
our first porno.
I got so excited.
I thought you were gonna say the genre is free titties flopping around and movies that have
no,
flopping
there's,
titties.
there's actually I don't think there's
You would
titties
have
in it.
to Google that list to find the various lists on
It's
different like
it's it's
cinema
it's in
forums.
Letterboxd. It's the top five titty flopping movies.
Hey, let's go. Hey,
Definitely, one
it's
hundred
my
percent is on Letterbox. 100%.
It's my turn. I'm getting serious now. I got inspired by Marina talking about her favorite movie being Freedom Fighters. Of this obscure movie with star Hilary Swank. We also have a Patrick Swayze in this movie. The movie that I am talking about is a very obscure film that I'm not sure if many of you or any of you have seen before. But the movie that I am talking about for you guys to watch with me alongside
The build.
for Cinema Club is the
Oh my
one
god.
and only uh, 1114.
Okay.
This is a movie that I randomly watched when I was, I don't know, a teenager maybe or something, or a younger. I don't remember my age
Yeah.
on HBO. And I was like, what is this? And it captivated me. And for a while, this became one of my favorite movies.
Hmm.
So
Oh boy.
I want you guys to see 1114 and then let's discuss it together. I haven't seen this movie in a very long time,
Oh,
more
I'm
than a decade.
excited.
All right.
Rachel Lee Cook.
There
She's
you
the
It
go.
looks like a
star.
thriller. How did I never see this one?
It's
I know.
it's a very
I'm
obscure film.
yeah,
Eleven
might have
fourteen.
seen it.
So for Michaela, El Dondino, Jason Eccles, Marina, and me, Steve the CV, we'll catch you next week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye.